Hello everyone, my dear students. We continue our Python lessons. Today is lesson 6, input output. When we create our small programs to demonstrate certain Python features, of course, we need to print, we need to show something, and sometimes we need to organize users' input. So we have to, in other words, we have to give and we have to take. So we are going to cover today print library function and input library function. They are very important. And what you see right now, it's a very short demo. You see an integer variable user age, which is initialized to 28, and you see a long message. I print user age not only in years, I print it in months and days. So let me show, and I print end of program message in line 4. So it's going to work. Let me save it. It's going to work like this. So you see 28 years is equal to 336 months or 122,400 days. So, in other words, print statement takes a list of expressions. You see the items separated by comma. Because my line is too long, I used continuation character. Remember lesson 1, how to split one statement in 2 lines. If it's too long, you may use backslash character. So print format is a list of expressions, could be variables, could be literals, could be expressions, and when the print is processed, all those items, so it could be expressions of any type, could be integer expressions, string expressions, Boolean expressions, doesn't matter, they all going to be converted automatically to strings. So print does casting automatically. All the items in the list to be printed going to be converted to string regardless of their types. The interesting thing is print statement or library function, by the way. We will cover functions and libraries very soon. So it's pre-written code. Library function is something which is already done for you by system programmers, and you just use it. You just call it. Anyway, there are 2 useful modifications you may use when you print. First of all, look, when you print the items, they automatically separated by space character. Let me show you one more time. And you see between printed expressions, print automatically adds space characters. Let me show you the actual code. So you see after user age, after 28, space is printed. After years is equal to another space automatically added. Then integer expression printed, user age times 12. Again, space is automatically inserted. So sometimes you don't want it. So you want to have a full control over your output, and you may use a useful parameter. SEP stands for separator. So if you provide SEP as an empty string, that means no extra characters are added. You have now full control over your output. Let me show you now the difference. And what you see now is not very nice. Not very nice. So if I have now my own control over print, I may have to add manually those space characters. So for example, I may add some space characters into the messages, and it's going to be good now. even I used SEP equal to empty string. So let me show you. You see, it's still looking good, but SEP parameter sometimes useful if you want to have the full control over printing elements. Also, what you see, the next print is working on the new line. So automatically, whenever you print, the next output is advancing to the next line. And sometimes, again, that's not what I want. Sometimes I want to keep printing on the same line, so there is another useful parameter you may need. It's called end, and again, empty string. So that's, or this way you're saying don't insert new line or end of line character. Keep printing on the same line. So both prints in line 2 and line 4, they're going to print on the same line of the console. Let me save the changes. Let me run. And now you see end of program is printed at the same line where the previous print was. If I want to now get, if I want to take, if I want to ask user for certain information, you need another library function. And by the way, look, they are in purple color. So usually the pre-written code functions provided for you in Python library, you can identify them by purple color. So let me show you now how the input can be organized in Python. So what input does? Input actually stops the program execution, and it's waiting for your typing. You have to type something. Whatever you type, input saves into the variable on the left. So if you call print just by itself alone, you have to call input always in the assignment statement. You always have to not just call input, you have to save the result of the input. So in this variable, you're going to get whatever user typed. Of course, it's nicer if you not only wait for the input, if you explain the user what you want. So, very common practice is before input you use print. You need a prompt. You need an explanation, and after you waiting and you taking the input. So let me again show the line numbers. So in line 2 I print a prompt. I'm expecting the user's name. In line 3 I save it in a variable. Then I print hi message with whatever name was provided, line number 4. Then I'm asking for the age. And now it's a little bit different because input returns us just string, the text, whatever user typed, characters. And if I need it as a number, I have to do casting. We covered casting in the lesson about variables and literals. So you see, I'm not only taking the user's input, I'm converting user input to numeric format. So name is a string variable, but age is an integer variable. And again, I print a second message, how old the user was. Let's take, let's try a test. Let's save the changes. Let's say I'm Andrei. I'm 60, let's say 1. And here we are. You see, everything is working nicely. And the only problem is here you have to be careful, because casting strings to numbers kind of risky business. Not any string, not any text could be converted into numbers. And in case it happens, in case you provided a wrong input, your program may just crash. Let me run it one more time. Let's say I'm John, and let's say I type by mistake not a number, I typed a text. You see, the program crashed and it says invalid literal for int casting function. Actually, and we are going to call it later on, what happens is called exception. Exception is an error happened during your program execution, and we will talk about them. We will talk about exceptions later on when we cover object-oriented programming, and we are going to basically discuss how to prevent program from crashing even something bad happens, even some exceptions happened. We call it catching. We may catch exceptions, but again, the whole technique going to be discussed a little bit later in object-oriented programming part of the course. Thank you very much. I keep publishing lessons every day. Please support the channel by your likes, your subscriptions. And now we finally getting into more interesting stuff. We are going to cover statement if. We are going to cover loop statements, while and for. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.